So, have you ever wondered how to be a more successful college student in 2019? Or maybe just how to better yourself, but you don't really know how? Well, today I'm going to share with you 10 tips on how to become a more successful college student. So, if you guys want to learn how, just keep on watching. So hi, I'm Makenna, and today I'm going to share with you how I became a better college student by implementing these simple yet very effective tips. And if you guys don't know, I make college videos and post them every Wednesday and Sunday, so make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on a video. Now I know a new semester is approaching very quickly, but let's all commit on making it the best semester yet. I have tips in here that are geared towards every aspect of your college career, so no matter where you struggle in, I got you. Also, make sure you stay till the end because I will be sharing with you my number 1 tip and also be sharing with you maybe a few extra tips. Let's get started. So right now I'm at one of my favorite parks. This is a local state park that we have here in Florida, but it's one of my favorites. I used to spend a while studying here. Whenever I came here, I knew I was going to study for a while, and that's another tip I recommend for you. Find a study spot where if you go there, you only study. You don't go there anytime else, you just only study. It will allow you to be in that study mindset. Look at me, I'm already giving you extra tips. This is such a calming park, as you can tell. The main road is literally right there, but it's okay. We're just gonna ignore it, pretend like we are totally out in nature right now. Alright, so let's not waste any more time and let's just dive right into the tips. So tip number 1 is to decide what you want to do about food beginning of each semester. First week of each semester, first day, even a few weeks prior to the semester, figure out what you want to do for food. Now, I'm not saying plan every single meal that you're going to eat for the semester. All I'm saying is figure out if you're getting a meal plan, figure out if you have a kitchen, and if you do, plan some go-to meals. And if you don't have a kitchen, figure out how to get around that. Search on Pinterest some easy and affordable ways to make healthy meals. So I didn't end up doing this my first semester, and there was times where I didn't have meals to make, so I would just reach in my fridge, pull out some ice cream and eat it. So don't be a me, plan your meals. Alright, so tip number 2 for y'all is to keep an agenda. Now, you guys are probably bored of this one, but do not click away. There is a reason people say to keep an agenda. There is bound to be a time where you do not complete an assignment because you totally forgot about it. I've been there, you've been there, we all know we've been there. So make sure you guys keep an agenda handy. Now, I'm not saying to go out and buy a $80 Erin Condren agenda. By no means, I'm not saying to do that. You can set a reminder in your phone. That's what I use. I love the reminders app. I will put it right here for y'all. It takes 2 seconds to set a reminder. And then it will remind you whenever you want, when it's due, before it's due. It will remind you. I just don't want you guys to miss an assignment and get a 0 on it that you could have easily got 100 on. And that will give you college success right there. What's up, guys? I'm back with tip number 3. So tip number 3 is to read the syllabus. I legit had a professor last year who we got into class. I didn't have an assignment because he never mentioned an assignment, and he's just like, "Where's your assignment?" And I'm just like, I don't have it. He just expected us to read the syllabus. So I highly recommend what you do is spend the first week of class just studying that syllabus. Just reading all the assignments that are due, and guess what? When you know when all the assignments are due, you can put them in your reminders app on your phone. Would you look at that? That's genius. I know. You're welcome. You heard it here first, folks. Also, you will know the weight of each assignment, so you figure out how much in advance you need to study for that certain exam. Reading the syllabus is important. I'm sure anyone in college can agree with me. Reading the syllabus is one of the biggest things to being successful in college. You know, I wish I could do one of those cool transitions where you jump into the shot and everything, but I'm just not that talented. So I am back with tip number 4. So tip number 4 is one of my favorites, and I think it is super important. Introduce yourself to your professors. The first day of class, go up to them, shake their hands, tell them your name, introduce yourself. But introducing yourself to your professors is key to your success. It will allow a professor-student relationship, not like that, I know what you're thinking, no, but it will allow your professor-student relationship to blossom. They will know your name, you will know their name, And then when you go to office hours, they'll recognize you and they'll probably give you more help for it, honestly. You know, I was sitting at an 89 this semester, sadly, but I was sitting at an 89 and I emailed my professor and they gave me that extra point, where I know with other students they wouldn't do that, but they knew who I was. I've been to office hours a few times. I went and introduced myself to him, so by doing that he gave me that extra point. So I feel like that is key to your success. You never know what your professor will do, and also if you're getting into research with your professor, which I can make a whole nother video on that, but if you are getting into research with your professor, it is key to know and understand who they are and for them to understand who you are. And I actually keep in touch with one of my professors from last year over email. We email back and forth every once in a while, and it is such a nice relationship, and she has taught me so much about college just as a whole. Even though she isn't in the same college as me, she is able to help me through college, help me through coursework and things like that. So just make sure you introduce yourself to your professor the first day of school and just keep up with that teacher-student relationship, and great things will happen from there. So tip number 5 is to say yes. College is a time where we're supposed to experiment, have fun, try new things. Now I'm not saying if someone were to ask you to jump off a bridge, you would do that. No, no, no. I'm just saying, just say yes more often. That was a huge thing for me last semester. I didn't say yes. I missed out on some great opportunities with friends. Just remember, school isn't everything. But I know there are people out there who strictly focus on school, and that's okay. You are there to learn. You are there for school. But just say yes and create some amazing memories in 2019. We're just gonna take a brief intermission right now. Don't worry, it's gonna be quick. But I just wanted to let you guys let that information sink in, really understand it. And I just wanted to teach you guys a little bit about this beautiful state park that we have here locally. It's called Korish State Park, or Korishan. I've heard people pronounce it different ways, but I will put it right here for y'all. And I think no matter how much we learn, we should always keep learning, always keep educating our brains, our minds, our souls, and just stay learning, because I feel like that's a really important part. And what's the fun in not learning anything when you go to places like this? Am I right? So yeah, let's take a look at what this place has to offer. So there used to be a dining hall here that looked like this, but what I think is really interesting is not the dining hall itself, but it says here, if you can read this, the second and third floors were dormitory rooms for sisters and young girls. The upstairs sleeping spaces were separated by cloth hung from ropes for privacy. The building, constructed in 1897 to 1898, was once the tallest structure standing in Lee County, which is the county that I'm from. But that is crazy. Like, wow. That's crazy. This whole place was just a community in itself. There was nothing really in this county before. They just moved out here in the 1800s, and they just wanted to get away from people and just start pretty much their own cults kind of thing. But I think that is very interesting, and that's crazy. They would have community meals where they would all come together and eat. I think we should learn from this, you know? I think we should implement this in our own society a little bit. Like, obviously, I'm not one for cults, but I think we should all learn from this, you know? Eat dinner as a whole, as a family. Maybe not your whole community. Wouldn't want my whole community here, but as a family, eat dinner as a whole, you know? Sit down at a dining area and eat dinner. Wow, look how crazy this is. So this used to be the bakery. This is where they made bread for local communities and for their community to eat off of. This was the main economic drive for this town. And I think this is so crazy. Like this right here, this was constructed in 1903, by the way. But this right here created all the money for this community. I mean, not all of it, but most. It was the greatest economic driver for this community, which is insane. Like, look at how tiny this is. And look at what they used to wear. That's crazy. Now, literally, that looks like a cult right there. That really does. But that's pretty crazy. So I just wanted to offer you guys a little bit more information since I was just basically walking around taking some random clips. But this settlement was created in 1894 by a man named Cyrus Teed, along with 200 of his followers. Korish means Cyrus in Hebrew, so that is where the name Korishan came about. Anyway, they created a new faith called Korishanity and created a utopian community. About 75% of the population was female because Cyrus believed that men and women were equal. They also believed that we lived inside of Earth. So let's leave it at that fact, and I'll put some links down below for y'all to check out just in case you want to. But yeah, I don't want to bore you with this, so let's just leave it at that. So I didn't want to make this video really long, so part 2 will come out tomorrow night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Again, it will come out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.